1970. I came about 6 months after it started. I was kind of came as part of the, found out about the Catholic Worker kind of as part of the anti-draft, the anti-war movement. I was a draft resistor. But the community was already in place. They were living in Pasadena, Dan and Chris Delaney, and Dan was a former priest and Chris was a former nun. The first meal that they served was Easter 1970, and it was a kind of a protest against the cardinal. This was 1970 to 71. And we were serving on the streets of Skid Row, and pretty soon the police came and closed us down, and we went to the Franciscans and asked them if we could serve at their church, and they said, well, maybe we could rent you a place. God forbid that anyone would serve a free meal to the poor at a parish church. That would be a little scandalous. So graciously, the Franciscans paid the rent. We found a place right where we are now, at the corner of 6th and Gladys. It was an old hotel with a restaurant down below. It was a 2-story building, and Dan was pretty handy with some tools and fixed the place up, and we opened up, I believe it was probably like January of 1972. We opened the Hippie Kitchen. They called it the Hippie Kitchen because they didn't know what we were. We were the only place down there that wasn't a mission at that time. We were I would say the first place down there that wasn't one of the evangelical missions on Skid Row. So they just kind of looked at us, and we looked like long-haired hippies, and so they called us the Hippie Kitchen, and the name has stuck ever since. We focus on serving immediate needs and meeting people with the needs that they have where they are, rather than saying, oh, well, once they get sober, then we can really work with them. So we work with people who may not be sober, and who may be addicted, and that's a significant portion of the population. But a lot of the people are mentally ill, and a lot of the people are actually physically ill. A lot of the people are just really poor and uneducated and are not equipped for the very sophisticated job market that we have today. It's just a scandal that the city has done what it's done to the poorest of the poor. There have been, in 1 year's time, the city initiated what they call the Safer Cities Initiative, and in 1 year's time, the police, they put 50 extra police on the streets. They patrol 24/7. They arrest people for the most minimal crime of sleeping on the street, spitting on the street, throwing their cigarette butts on the street. They set people up for drug dealing busts. That is, people who are not even drug dealers. So there are scores of people in state prison who won't get out of prison for a couple of years, which is the intent of the police and the city, is to fill the already overfilled prisons of California with these very marginal people who are of the least violent and dangerous people that you could possibly imagine.
Going down in the gravel, head to the barrel, take this life and end this struggle. Los Angeles, come scam me, play empty north, never sleeps at Clifton. 6 a.m. with your bad lady friend and your mind is ended. Just have the right to be a human in control. It's warmer in hell, so down we go. They say this is the city, the city of angels. All I see is dead in the waves. They say this is the city, the city of angels. All I see is dead in the waves.
So we serve a free meal every day. That's our primary work. It takes about maybe 20 people to produce the meal and serve the meal and clean up afterwards. We do that all in about 6 hours, and we serve about 1,000 meals a day, 3 days a week. So we serve about 3,000 meals a week on Skid Row. So we also have a clinic that comes from a local hospital and provides basic medical services. And we have a dental clinic once a week. The eye clinic comes every other month or so. And what else? Oh, we give out free shopping carts. We're a little short on shopping carts right now because they're very expensive and we don't have enough money. We think the shopping cart project, however, is pretty important because it really meets people's needs where they are. We give out free shopping carts to the absolute poorest of the poor, the most homeless individuals on Skid Row. They use those shopping carts mostly for recycling and for carrying around their worldly possessions. Many people use it for basic transportation as well as shelter. I've seen people sleeping in them. I've seen them flip them over and put a cardboard box over them and use it that way. The shopping cart is, it's kind of like their lifeline. But most services would not spend that amount of money. It's almost $50 per cart. So it's like giving money, $50 to the poorest of the poor. But it's transportation, it's employment, and it's housing for people at the very bottom. And not only does it help the poor where they are, but it pisses off the police and it pisses off the business people, and that makes me very happy.
Rabbit on the world. Do you need your knife? Vitriolic twilight, a mirage, the month. It never ends. Once you get born, you'll never the same. Let's fly to race some time. Make no decency and being bucked up alive. Look around in a red sun's hell. We don't rest in peace with